Donald Duck and Mickey Mouse were staying over at Goofy's new house that he had bought after he had sold his old trailer home since Disney alone no longer kept House of Mouse on the air. They hardly ever saw Goofy that day. Any light of him just staring to become secretive. It was like he was hiding something. Donald wanted to ask what it was, but Mickey told him it wouldn't be polite. It wasn't any of their business. He just should have heard that Goofy would get defensive, even aggressive if anyone asked him what he was doing. Staying at his new place all the time, it was like there was something dark going on with the normally lovable goofball. Mickey knocked on the door, and Goofy, dressed like a butcher, answered. It wasn't too far off. Goofy had gotten a job as a town butcher after House of Mouse had ended, despite what most people would think. That being a butcher is one of the jobs that he would stay away from because he is a klutz. He's actually ironically careful and talented. His family actually had butchers in it. He may as well have started looking for work because Disney replacing him with bizarre recreation of early times Goofy in the new Mickey shorts. Mickey and Donald were the only people he could never ask him about why he hardly ever came out anymore. Mickey was always so polite, and Donald, as well as there was free food it was shown to him. Why the fuck should he care? Goofy welcomed his friends for a chance to specially made burgers, fresh from the proactive cow carcass. Goofy had invited his friends to stay over for 4 days while the girls were away, so they could have guys' night. Just the three of them. 4 days of hamburgers. Any guy would want that. Donald could not help but notice, though, a very secluded door with the sign "Private Keep Out" on the door. It was eerie with all the spikes on the door frame, a barred window on the door or like something like out of a prison, and dried stains of blood looking like an animal meat had been dragged in or out of there. Goofy started aggressively at Donald, only telling him that it was his private slaughterhouse. It was where he did his work. Then calmly he insisted it was too disturbing for the untrained mind, and that was relatively true. Slaughterhouses don't need to tend to be a comfortable place. I mean, come on, a place where disemboweled animals everywhere? An animal lover's worst nightmare. Goofy was quick to offer Donald a burger to quickly make the noisy duck forget about his curiosity. Mickey, being polite, simply understood that his door was off limits. Mickey was more interested in the burgers. That's right, they went to sleep, satisfied from a burger meal. However, Mickey had to use the bathroom because he added too much hot sauce. His anus was suffering greatly. However, he couldn't help but hear Goofy humming in his usual tune at the sound of the pile of meat being dragged. As soon as Mickey finished business, he quickly went to see what was going on. It was Goofy moving the entire cow carcass towards the slaughterhouse door. Wow, Goofy is really dedicated to his work, Mickey quietly assumed. Curiosity got the better of him as he quietly followed Goofy, only as near as possible, but still hidden. Goofy went inside with the cow carcass. Mickey swore that he heard Goofy say something, as if he was talking to someone. Mickey then heard what sounded like a retarded screaming. He heard Goofy trying to tell the creature to calm down, warning that he had guests this time around, and never wanted him to see it. He made his family a promise on it. He heard Goofy offering the cow corpse he was dragging the creature, as it was met with sounds of violent eating. Like a wolf, Mickey winced, as his heart heard the sound of Goofy wincing as well, then shuddered in discomfort. Mickey gasped quietly, as it sounded like Goofy was coming this way. Mickey quietly and quickly hid in the living room. He hid there until he was for sure Goofy went back to his bedroom, and when he was sure, Mickey was able to get to his bedroom, just in time before the retarded screaming happened again. He then heard Goofy rushing into the private room. He heard Goofy trying to hush him like someone for lovin', like a parent. The screams then hushed down, and he heard Goofy offering something named Fofo to him. Then Mickey heard the retarded laughing. It then quieted down. The last he heard was Goofy returning his own bedroom, and he was for sure it was said and done. The following morning, Mickey was tired. It was a bad morning headache with those tired eyes. Donald was insultingly well rested, fought to be fair. He was notoriously a heavy sleeper. Goofy looked as if he was sad. He had the look that he was alone in his world, like he was stuck with something that burdened him. Mickey would not dare to ask him. Mickey was better than to let his curiosity make him do such thing. Mickey decided it was only best way to include Donald on this. Midday, when Goofy went to work at the butcher shop, Mickey told Donald off the events that happened. Donald felt uneasy with what Mickey had told him. He even asked Mickey if he was just playing dumb, mean prank, but quickly remembered that Mickey wasn't like that. Mickey insisted they investigate him while Goofy was out. They needed to know once and for all what was going on with Goofy. They reluctantly approached the door and opened it. It was a very, very dark room with silhouettes of dismembered farm animals, like pigs and cows, which was okay because, again, Goofy was a butcher. This was his supply. Donald and Mickey hopefully assumed this was the only uncomfortable thing here. They had heard what sounded like a mentally ill person moaning. Donald felt like panicking. They slowly but surely braved on, as they saw more than just gored animals. They saw claw marks on the walls, and some of the meat looked as if it had been chewed on. They couldn't help but see crudely rude drawings of a happy bunny that made everyone more disturbed and more out of place. A happy bunny was in a room full of dead, dismembered animals. They noticed that there were also no children's toys there. Didn't help much to be out of place, creepiness already. They also found crayons, which justified most of the crudely drawn bunnies, as well as Play-Doh, coloring books, pencils, and finally an old worn-out patched-up bunny doll with a fancy suit and tie, an eye missing, and some fluff seeping out. Both Donald and Mickey were thinking, "What the hell is Goofy doing in here?" Suddenly a clawed hand, wearing a ripped glove, grabbed the bunny doll. As Mickey and Donald screamed, the hand revealed to itself to be someone who possibly belonged to the same species of a dog-like creature as Goofy, but he looked grossly deformed. He murmured something in a retarded delicate as he held into his bunny doll, then started to say my foo-foo over and over and over again. Donald in panic knocked Mickey down to the ground to help himself. Donald and the ungrateful coward escaped. Mickey was covered in the blood of the cows that had been fed to the creatures before. The creature ended up getting the wrong idea and was convinced that Mickey was his next meal. Mickey screamed and ran for it, but without getting clawed on the back. Mickey screamed as the pain was unbearable. Adrenaline kicked in, and Mickey escaped, as the creature did not pursue it because it was chained to the wall, long enough only to go to certain parts of the room, but not all the way through. As Mickey escaped, his back was bleeding heavily. The regretful Donald went out of his way to try and call for help. He was a coward but not selfish. He couldn't help it. He was scared out of his wits. However, the phone wouldn't work. Donald quickly saw that the line had been cut by a bloody butcher knife, and there stood owner Goofy with angered, betrayed face. "I'm sorry it came to this, guys." "Yeah, but Cousin Goofy's family, and he's all I have left in this world. Clarabelle made a mistake of going through that door and, well, it didn't end pretty," Goofy said, with a remorseful sounding voice. Goofy grabbed Donald by the neck, walking past an injured Mickey, who watched fearfully as he saw the shadows of Goofy, giving Donald to Cousin Gooby. The monster ripped off Donald to gory shreds. Mickey got up, struggled to fight the pain as best as he could. He made a run for it. He got into his car, trying to start it, but he saw that the engine was clogged by animal intestines. Mickey got out of the car as he saw Goofy walking towards him with a butcher knife. Mickey started to make a run for it. Mickey was sure to get away when Mickey was stabbed. The butcher knife had been thrown to his back, disabling his legs thanks to the fractured spinal cord. Goofy grabbed Mickey's leg and dragged him back to his house. After retrieving his butcher knife, Mickey was screaming for help, begging Goofy to let him go, and then he promised he'll keep everything to himself. Mickey was dragged towards the unholy door of the secret that would have been best ignored. Mickey was crying as he struggled to get away. Eventually, Mickey was dragged inside. As the door slammed, what can finally be heard was the sound of flesh ripping, retarded screaming, and Mickey's blood-curdling scream. Then silence. Then the last voice was heard. That was Goofy's. I'll lose more friends this way. What's up, my pretties? It's the Lion Queen here. I want to appreciate you all for tuning into this video. And I do appreciate you guys supporting my video by giving this video likes and stuff. If you really enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like, comment and subscribe if you're new, ring the bell for notifications to when I upload so that way you guys will get updated for whenever I upload. If you want to follow me on Twitter or DeviantArt, feel free to leave a follow on those if you are interested in following me on those socials. If you want to support my backup channel, known as Miss Dark Shigo, feel free to subscribe to it, as a link to that will also be in the About page section. And with that being said, and that being the case, thank you so much for watching, my pretties, and as always, stay pretty.